Sunshine, lollipops, and rainbows. Everything that's wonderful is what I feel when...
Hi there. Say if you are watching this video, there's a very good chance that you are a human who is signing up to be on a train. Chugga chugga, choo choo, a train of positivity. My friends, welcome. If you have not been welcomed yet, I'm sure I am one of many people welcoming you to the Train of Positivity Summit 2021, put on by our friends Matt and Phil, M&P Presentations Productions. They own the whole M&P world right now. We are excited to be joining you today. My name is Joe. When I say we, I mean all of us. They have 3 kids. They could be coming down at any given time. The dog might start barking, but in this crazy 2021 post-pandemic world that we are all sort of living through, I think there's a new set of norms that make some of that stuff okay. There's real life sitting in behind me. I'm swimming in it, living in it, just like many of you who are probably watching this. I'm really excited that I get to share a message with all of you, a message that I think is incredibly important, a message that all of us need to hear. And it's going to start on a little bit of a more somber note. I apologize in advance. It was probably 2006 when my wife and I were in our first house, and this was before children. And I know this was before children because I was watching the baseball game, the Minnesota Twins. I live in Minnesota. I'm in inning number 9 of this game against the White Sox. And I think it's like, we're down by a run. We have a man on third base. It's bottom of the 9th, 3 balls, 2 strikes. And the pitcher winds up, throws the pitch. And my wife comes in and stands in between the TV and me. And she says, "We need to talk." The proper response in that situation is no problem, which I didn't give the proper response, which meant we really did need to talk. And eventually my wife turned off the TV, sat down on the couch, and I watched as she sort of sat there and through tears kind of said to me things were not going all that great in our marriage. And I said, "What do you mean? I don't understand what you're talking about." I got very angry. I got very defensive. And she says, "That's exactly sort of what I'm talking about. You're loud. You're embarrassing. Oftentimes you say things that, kind of make me cringe to be your wife." And I had to, in that moment, sort of take a long sort of look in the mirror and figure out, is this the person that I sort of want to be known for? In some respects, I'm the most positive human being that some of you will ever meet. And when people meet me for the first time, oftentimes that's their image of me. I have that woo factor, that strength. But oftentimes what I've noticed is people who maybe have some of the same similarities, what we're really good at is often making that one-time splash. But when it comes to the longer relationships and the people in our lives that are there through the thick and thin, oftentimes they can get sort of a second version of ourselves. And I think oftentimes in life, we're really good at sort of putting on that mask and acting like everything's okay, when many times things maybe are bubbling underneath the surface a little bit. And the thought that I have that I want to share with you today when it comes to this is there's a way out of that. There's some intentionality and some real energy when you put it in the right places that allow us to not only see the good, but feel the good. And when we feel the good, what I know is that we are much more likely to share the good. You see, oftentimes in our crazy 2021 post-pandemic world, we get caught up with things that are in our minds and in our hearts that are blocking us from being the best versions of ourselves that we can be. And so what is a simple takeaway in a small amount of time that I can share with you that might have just the smallest little impact? Well, it's a word that many of you are probably aware of and many of you practice on a daily basis. But it's the one thing that really helped move the needle for me, got me on that chugga chugga choo choo train of positivity so many years ago when my wife sat me down and basically gave me the ultimatum: if things don't change, changes will be made. And that sort of value, that energy space that was for me was gratitude. I want to share a little bit about this word gratitude, a quick little practice around it on how maybe we can increase it. And then I want to give you the permission to practice it in your life in any way, shape, or form. I have 3 children. I told you that at the very, very beginning. My 3 children are amazing. And I know that you're not supposed to have a favorite child. And I don't have a favorite child. But if I did have a favorite child, it might be my middle child. His name is Finn, and Finn's a pretty amazing kid. He dances, right? He dabs, which I'm sure he will deeply regret later. But for now, dab on, right? And when he was little, like really little, like 2 years old little, Finn loved making toast. He would run downstairs in the morning. He would put the bread in the toaster, and he would wait and wait and wait. And watch and watch and watch, and the bread would, cook and cook and cook, and finally it would pop out of the toaster, and he would raise his hands in the air and look at me with this expression like, whoa, I didn't see that coming. And then he would shriek as if he had just won the lottery, and I was always like, dude, it's just toast. And he was like, no, you idiot, it's a miracle. Wise 2-year-old. Why are sometimes the youngest people in our crew the people who teach us some of the most profound wisdoms? Why is a 2-year-old, a 3-year-old so good at seeing things that make their hearts fill with so much joy, like making shapes out of clouds when you stare at the sky, or jumping into a puddle in a random park just so that you can hear the sound, or watching the magic of toast popping out of the toaster? Why are sometimes younger kids so good at seeing those little things that bring their heart so much joy? It's, well, quite honestly, because they're seeing it. Why do I miss it so often during the day? Well, quite often it's because I'm missing it. Not because I don't want to see it, but life gets busy, plates get spinning, technology gets in our face, and it can be really, really easy to stop seeing all the things in our life that we have. And it can be really, really easy to focus on all the things that we're not and all the things that we don't have. And unfortunately, when we start checking out of real world situations, oftentimes our brain, they're designed to see things that will upset the apple cart in some way, shape, or form. Here's a stat: 60,000 thoughts. Write that down. 60,000. On average, a human being has 60,000 thoughts every single day. Here's the crazy thing: 90% of those 60,000 are the exact same thoughts you had yesterday. Only 10% are new thoughts. So 90%, the vast majority of all of our thoughts every day, are repeated and recycled. Here's the weird part: 80% of those 90% are negative. In essence, all day, every day, we are stacking negative thought upon negative thought upon negative thought. And if you don't think that has an impact on how you feel, if you don't think that has an impact on how you treat yourself or how you treat others, guess again. What can we do in order to just take a breath, slow down, and see the things that used to bring our hearts so much joy? I share a practice that we call the attitude of gratitude. And I'll be completely honest, this is not just my activity. This is different people's ideas that I have seen, read, and experienced over the years. And it's a practice. It's a daily sort of practice that we need to get on board with. The good news is that it doesn't take that long. And if you wanted to take on this attitude of gratitude practice, here's how it would look. Every morning before you look in the mirror, before you check your email, before you kiss your spouse, okay, maybe kiss your spouse, that's fine, your partner, whatever it may be, take that care of that first. But before you do anything else, what I want you to do is I want you to write down 3 things in your life that you are grateful for. How I like to focus it is one thing in my work, one thing in my family, and one thing just kind of in general. Oftentimes it could sound like at work, I have the ability to create videos like this for amazing humans like yourself. That is a gift. Something in my family, man, I have 3 amazing healthy kids who are making it through this crazy pandemic. And one thing that I would say is random, I hit every stoplight the other day on the way to Target. That's a lot of stoplights. That's a lot of time I saved on that. Green light every time. So those are just 3 little things. Then you want to write down 3 things that could be wins for the day. 3 little goals, 3 little micro little things that, man, if you put energy towards this, a little time and a little intention, that would feel pretty good, right? So those are your 2 things to do in the morning. And then at the end of the day, you revisit. At the end of the day, you want to pick that thing back up. You want to write down 3 things that were wins. What are 3 things that were positive that happened during that day? Maybe it was something that you checked off on earlier, that one of your little micro goals, right? Or maybe it was something else that happened that you didn't see coming. But write down 3 wins, and then you're going to write down 1 or 2 little mistakes. And when I say mistake, I don't mean that it's just a mistake, right? You get a second chance. It's not like your life is over and you're ruined, but it's a mistake that you made. And we're going to be the best versions of ourselves. Oftentimes, it's about self-improvement. So taking a long look in the mirror and just saying, how could I have been better today in my words, in my actions? That's the attitude of gratitude. Now, is it going to change the world if you do this activity? Of course not. But what it does, and what I've noticed and what I've experienced and what my wife can tell you from many years ago, is it slowly over time, it helps start shifting your thoughts. You start seeing different things during the day that you would never normally see. You start feeling different levels of happiness and gratitude towards things that you used to feel little levels of happiness and gratitude towards. And slowly but surely, it helps retrain your brain to see the good. And again, when we see the good, we can't help but feel the good. And in my experience, when we feel the good, we can't help but share the good. So that's the thought, that's the idea. I hope it connects. I hope it resonates. If any of you are interested in staying connected with the work that I do in schools, I'm a speaker. I speak in school communities. I speak to staff. I speak to students. I speak to parents. Also wrote a book. This book is really doing well. It's called Just Look Up, 5 life-saving phrases every kid/human needs to hear. Yay toast is the 5th phrase in this book, but it's also filled with 4 other phrases of what I think is really good stuff for our hearts, our heads, our souls, and our hands so that we can apply this stuff to the world around us. If you're interested in learning more about the book or any of the speaking events, you can certainly just head to my website, which is just joebeckman.com. Thank you to M&P for putting this on. Sometimes we get that overcomplicated, right? Sometimes it's nice just to stop, slow down, and remind ourselves of the little things that used to bring us so much joy, like the magic of toast. How we're going to end today is we're going to take a step back with a basic song that you know, that I know, that I don't like to sing by myself. I need you to sing with me. This is the permission to let your light, your individual light, shine in this world. And let's be clear, we need all sorts of light because there's all sorts of dark. So no matter if you're going to be a speaker on a stage that's going to impact millions, or whether you're going to take 5 minutes to make a connection with one other human being, that light is necessary in this world that unfortunately has a lot of dark. So thank you for being the amazing humans you are. Go let your light shine. Yay toast. See the little things that used to bring your heart so much joy. Here we go. Love your faces. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, with this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Everywhere I go, everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. This little light, sing it loud. This little light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, with this little light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, 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 let it shine. One more time. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Yeah! You guys are awesome. I love your face. Hashtag Train of Positivity 2021. Love your faces. Take care, guys. Be good.
Thank you for joining us for the 2021 Train of Positivity Virtual Summit. If you have enjoyed this positive message, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. If sharing, please don't forget to use the hashtag Train of Positivity. Continue to have a great day, and thanks again for tuning in.